going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can protect it. Denmark, they're wonderful people. And I know the leaders, they're very good people, but they don't even go there. And, you know, because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property.
Donald Trump has intensified his campaign to take over Greenland with a new social media post. On Truth Social, Trump posted an image of him hoisting the American flag on Greenland. The image shows animated illustrations of Trump, who is flanked by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. A signboard reads, "Greenland, U.S. Territory, established 2026. Trump shared another image of him from a meeting with the European leaders at the Oval Office. Interestingly, the image had a map of North America painted with the U.S. flag. The U.S. president spoke about his telephone call with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte over Greenland. As I expressed to everyone very plainly, Greenland is imperative for national and world security. There can be no going back. On that, everyone agrees," Trump said. Trump reiterated his claim of Denmark being unable to ward off Russian threat in Greenland.
Well, that wasn't a military. They sent a few people. And they say they sent them not for me, but to guard against Russia. But, you know, NATO's been warning Denmark for about 20 years now, longer than that, 25 years. They've been warning Denmark about the Russian threat. And it's not only Russia, it's also China. So we'll see what happens. But let's put it this way. It's going to be a very interesting Davos.
Russia has said that Trump would go down in world history if he takes control of Greenland.
There are international experts who firmly believe that by successfully resolving the issue of Greenland's acquisition, Trump will, without a doubt, secure his place in history.
And not only in the history of the United States, but also in global history. And once again, I repeat, without discussing whether it's good or bad, it's truly difficult to disagree with these experts.
Overall, in recent days, a very significant amount of quite troubling information has been coming in, and naturally, we are most attentively observing everything that is currently unfolding, and we are thoroughly analyzing these ongoing developments. Regarding our plans concerning Denmark and Greenland, I will leave that particular matter without any comment.
Trump also posted a text message from Emmanuel Macron in which the French president suggested a meeting of members of the Group of 7 industrialized democracies in Paris after the Davos gathering. Denmark, meanwhile, refuses to back down, saying that Trump will not achieve Greenland aims by pressurizing Europe.
Well, first of all, my response to the Prime Minister is that we really appreciate the very strong statement for him from his side. Arguing that, you know, there are principles in life. And even though UK has a very special relationship to UK, which I acknowledge, especially after Brexit, there are red lines which can't be crossed. This is a matter of basic principles. And we are living in 2026 where you can trade with people, but you can't trade people. And listening to a UK Prime Minister who stands up for that principle is very important. And then, of course, I realize you can't leave anything out until the president himself have decided to leave anything out.
Trump has also slapped 10% tariffs on 8 European nations, starting in February, on goods from 8 European nations because of their opposition to American control of Greenland, evoking stern response from the affected nations.
On Greenland, the right way to approach an issue of this seriousness is through calm discussion between allies. And let's be clear, the security of Greenland matters. And it will matter more as climate change reshapes the Arctic, as sea routes open and strategic competition intensifies. The High North will require greater attention, greater investment, and stronger collective defence. The United States will be central to that effort, and the UK stands ready to contribute fully alongside our allies through NATO. But there is a principle here that cannot be set aside, because it goes to the heart of how stable and trusted international cooperation works. And so any decision about the future status of Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark alone. That right is fundamental, and we support it. Denmark is a close ally of the United Kingdom and of the United States, a proud NATO member that has stood shoulder to shoulder with us, including at real human cost in recent decades. Alliances endure because they're built on respect and partnership, not pressure. That is why I said the use of tariffs against allies is completely wrong. It is not the right way to resolve differences within an alliance. Nor is it helpful to frame efforts to strengthen Greenland's security as a justification for economic pressure. Such measures hurt British workers, British businesses, and the British economy. And that is why I've been so clear on this issue. A trade war is in no one's interest, and my job is always to act in the UK's national interest.
There is broad consensus among Europeans that further threats of tariffs will weaken rather than strengthen transatlantic relations. They also carry the risk of escalation. Tariffs are usually paid by those in whose country the imports go. In this case, American consumers would pay the tariffs, but they would of course also damage our economy, the European economy, and the German economy in particular, which is why we want to find a solution here. In any case, we on the European side will respond to such challenges in a level-headed and appropriate manner. The overarching goals remain a united Europe and a strong NATO. As you all know, I am in close contact with our European neighbors and partners as well as with the American president. It is clear that we want to assert ourselves as a country and as a continent.